Hello, my name is Owen Clark. The title of my speech is Little Big Country, and the purpose of my speech is to educate my audience on some interesting subjects pertaining to South Korea. So I like to start with a quote from one of my favorite movies, Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back. I feel the quote, "Size matters not," from Yoda, perfectly describes the difference between the size of South Korea and its background. A large part of South Korea is mountainous, however, there are some small valleys and narrow plains that run along the coast of the peninsula. South Korea has two major mountain ranges, the Taebaek Mountains and the Sobaek Mountains. If I'm not pronouncing those right, I apologize. The Taebaek Mountains run in a north-south direction from both North and South Korea, and the Sobaek Mountains run in a sort of like S shape from the northeastern half of the from the northeastern part of the country down to the southwestern region. The country has three main rivers that stem from the Taebaek Mountains and act as drainage: the Han, Kum and Naktong rivers all flow to lowland plains east or south from the mountains after passing through other mountain ranges. South Korea experiences temperature differences between seasons, characterized by cold, dry winters and hot and humid summers. However, because of how close South Korea is to the Asian mainland, South Korea is also affected by monsoons created by that mainland, so it shapes a precipitation. It does shape precipitation patterns. Um, the base of South Korean culture is that it's shaped in large part by Confucianism. However, shamanism and Buddhism also contribute to modern Korea's culture. South Korea's cultural backbone. Although past influences are not as prevalent today, South Korean culture still emphasizes respect towards ancestry and seniority, influencing aspects of social life from work to family and beyond. Seollal, which is their Lunar New Year, and Chuseok, again, if I'm not pronouncing this right, I'm sorry, the Harvest Moon Festival, or what is more well known as Korean Thanksgiving, are two of the most important holidays in South Korean tradition. However, all other holidays are observed in South Korea, including New Year's Day. They also have Liberation Day, the date when they were liberated from the Empire of Japan in 1945, and Christmas. They also celebrate Christmas. There is no religious uniformity or national religion in South Korea. However, there are a few faiths practiced by South Koreans to this day. Christianity, which I mentioned, was introduced to Korea back in the late 18th century and has had the most impact on South Korea's modernization. Shamanism, the belief in gods, demons, and astral spirits, is practiced only during funerals and other certain occasions, and Confucianism serves as a basis for national ethics. South Korea currently has a population of 51 million people. Population growth remains steady yet very small since the 21st century. Mortality rates have dropped since 1960s. However, despite the decrease in birth rate, this is because the majority of South Korea's population resides in urban areas, with only a fifth of the population living in rural areas. Seven of the largest cities in South Korea make up over half the country's population. South Korea's government is known as the Sixth Republic after a constitutional referendum in 1987. The government is structured very similarly to the United States, with separation of executive, legislative, and judicial powers. The president is chosen by popular vote for a single 5-year term, where the president will then appoint a prime minister with the approval of the National Assembly. And much like the United States, South Korea also has political parties. However, the parties that are dominant change over time and are not did not have the same bicameral structure that the United States has. So in conclusion, South Korea has a rich background and culture despite being a very small nation. Mountainous geography helps shape urban areas. Traditions have never fade away completely, and some of its societal structures have been inspired by our country as well. Thank you.